So today we're gonna
Yeah.
we're going deep, really deep.
Deep dive.
Deep dive into Sweden.
Yeah, into Sweden.
And specifically their immigration system. And you know, we've been following this for a while, and there's some pretty serious issues.
Yeah.
And we're looking at some posts that we found from the Committee for the Defense of Freedoms and Rights. CDFR, they go by CDFR.
Yep.
To get their take on what's happening over at the Swedish Migration Agency.
Migrationsverket.
Yeah.
It's quite a mouthful.
It is, yeah.
But their processing times are even worse.
It's not good.
No.
So
what's wild is that, like, this is getting so bad that even the Swedish Parliamentary Ombudsman, per Lennerbrant, he had to step in.
He's not happy.
Yo, he is not happy.
No, he put out a report.
Oh, yeah.
In December of 2022, and it, just absolutely blasts the agency.
It's brutal.
You can tell he's frustrated.
You think?
Yeah, and it's understandable because, these delays are insane.
They're crazy. Yeah.
Imagine, put yourself in the shoes of someone who's waiting for a decision that's gonna change their life.
Yeah, like your whole life is on hold.
Your whole life is on hold.
Yeah.
And you're waiting years.
Literally years.
Not weeks, not months. Years.
Like, we're talking
1 year and 8 months. Over 3.5 years in some cases.
Yeah, and the report, it gives some specific examples.
Yeah.
Like, there's one case, it was an asylum application.
Right.
And they waited, get this, 3 years and 7 months before any decision was made.
It's awful.
Yeah.
And he makes the point in the report that this is unacceptable.
Completely unacceptable. It's violating these people's rights.
Right. Imagine the stress and the uncertainty.
Like, how are you supposed to
move forward with your life?
You can't. You're just stuck.
You're stuck. Yeah. And, of course, the agency's like, oh, we're working on it.
Right. They're saying they have plans.
They're going to optimize things.
And new procedures.
All this stuff.
But even the ombudsman himself.
Yeah, he's not buying it.
He's like, guys, I don't think you get it.
I don't think you're going to get this done.
I have seen how you operate.
Yeah. And so that kind of begs the question of, what is the root cause?
Why is this happening?
Why is this happening?
Immigration systems are notoriously complex, right?
They are. You've got
different agencies, different departments,
paperwork out the wazoo,
tons of paperwork. Yeah, and even a tiny little inefficiency,
right? One little thing
can just snowball, compound
into this huge mess.
Exactly.
Yeah,
a huge backlog.
So we've talked about the agency, the ombudsman, the report, the numbers, but
the human side.
Let's talk about the people.
Yeah.
Because it's easy to get caught up in the bureaucratic stuff, but these are actual human beings.
Yeah, these are people's lives.
Whose lives are on hold.
Yeah, and the CDFR actually talks about this a lot.
Yeah.
About the human impact.
The psychological toll this takes on people is...
Dude, huge. Imagine the anxiety.
Enormous. Yeah.
The stress of not knowing what's going to happen.
If you can even stay in the country.
Yeah, if you can work.
Build a life.
Build a family.
Yeah.
It's just heartbreaking.
And it's not just the psychological impact.
Right.
The CDFR is making the point that this is also a financial burden.
Huge financial burden.
On the state.
Oh, yeah.
Because you've got all these employees.
Who are getting paid. But not really producing anything.
Not really processing these applications.
Yeah, and you've got these offices.
That are just sitting there.
Empty.
And
the government's still paying rent for them.
It's a mess.
It's a complete mess.
It's a lose-lose situation.
Yeah, for everyone involved.
So what can be done?
What can be done, right? That's the $1 million question.
Right. Well, the CDFR has some ideas.
Wait on me.
So they're arguing that we need to reduce processing times. Right.
Okay.
And eliminate a lot of these bureaucratic barriers.
Okay.
That are just clogging up the system.
All right. So how would they go about doing that?
Well, they've suggested a couple of things, like streamlining the application process.
Okay.
For certain visa categories, right?
Okay.
And then creating a more transparent tracking system.
So you know where you are in the...
Exactly.
In the pipeline.
So applicants can actually see what's happening with their application.
Yeah, because that would at least alleviate some of the
anxiety.
The anxiety of not knowing.
Exactly.
Right, but, we were talking earlier about potential labor shortages.
Right.
And wouldn't streamline, all these applications.
Wouldn't that potentially lead to like a huge influx of workers.
It's a valid concern. Right. It's a balancing act. You know, governments have to, on the one hand,
they want people to come in.
They want to make it fair.
But not too many people.
Right. But they also have to consider the economic and social impacts.
The ripple effects?
Yeah, of large-scale immigration.
Yeah.
So it's a tough situation.
There's no easy answers.
There's easy answers.
So I'm sure there are people listening right now who are like, I want to know more about this.
I want to dig deeper.
Where can they go?
Well, the good news is that the full Ombudsman report is available publicly on Swedish government websites.
Okay, so you can actually read
the whole thing.
The whole thing, yeah. So I mean, we've covered a lot of ground here.
A lot of ground.
But I think that the main takeaway, is that like there are real people behind all of this.
Behind the numbers, behind the reports.
Behind the reports, the statistics.
Yeah.
These are real human beings.
Whose lives are being affected.
Whose lives are being deeply affected.
Deeply, deeply affected.
Yeah, and so that kind of raises the question for all of us.
Yeah.
Like what responsibility?
What responsibility
do governments have?
And governments have.
To make sure that these processes.
That these immigration processes.
Are both efficient. And fair. And how can we as citizens advocate for change?
Yeah, how can we make our voices heard?
How can we make a difference?
Yeah.
And I think that's something that we all need to think about.
It's something to ponder.
Yeah, ponder.
For sure.
All right, well, it's been a
deep dive.
A deep dive.
It has been a deep dive.
Into the Swedish immigration system.
Until next time.
See ya.